Welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we're going on pretty good now on our guest house. Soon might even be able to invite a guest. But going to take you a walk around now, switch on to the other side of the camera and have a look at what we've done. So, most of the rendering is done now, and I'll show you. So I think you can see that the bottom half, this is about 5 courses of hollow block on the bottom with rebar pressed into the bottom. And then up around, see cladding. Now we're going to stain that, and we've already bought the stain. We'll paint the rendered part, what you can see here. So all the rendering has all been done. It's a rough cast finish, and we'll paint that probably green, and then we have some stain for the top. Hopefully the carpenter is coming today and he's going to fit those window frames, and then we'll decide what kind of window we want, whether it's going to be a fixed pane, which would look nice in the tinted glass. So we've still got a lot of making good to do. This part here is all going to be open with screening on there, keep the bugs out. Here's a plumbing work in progress. That's a breather pipe there. Have to take those up. We're actually standing right now on the septic tank, so we'll cover this over when we start to do some work on landscaping, which right now seems a long way away, but it's not so far. So just looking inside, welcome to the farm and the chickens as usual. So the bottom half rendered again. Now what we're going to do with this open framework that you do now, the Filipino way would be to leave that as it is. I don't like that, so we're actually going to cover that all in plywood. So that's the for some reason they went ahead and put the cladding, that exterior cladding, on the inside here. You know, that was a judgment call that they made, not mine. But let's have a look around the front again. So this would be a small seated area with this framework here is all going to be with a netting that'll just keep the bugs out, but it'll let the light in. This still has to be rendered, as you can see. That was as far as they got yesterday. So looking inside, I wish they'd washed that floor down before they left, but I guess that they were trying to work for as long as they could and left the cleaning up until later. That will probably fall to me. Nice view out there if you can see it. Now this building, for those of you who were in on the work earlier, this building was actually designated to be a workshop. So I actually wanted it to be rustic like this for some reason, which seemed a very good idea to me at the time. But anyway, that's why you've got the tree trunks. Now, we had an almost flat roof at first, but once we decided that we were going to do this as a guest house, we decided that we would redesign the roof so that it was a normal apex roof. But it's still very rustic in design. Now we're actually thinking of running this now on the lines of the European guest houses, more like hostels where you can stay. In Europe, they have them all over Europe, where they have bunk beds, and it's mixed. Obviously, you've got the bathroom, which is private for changing and so on. But everybody bunks in together, and they sleep in bunk beds. So I'm thinking along the same lines, that we'll have, say, a pair of double bunk beds. We will actually have a double bed, which will be a fold-away thing, so that if Beth and I decide when nothing's happening guest-wise, we'll have the use of this, and a fairly nice bathroom, which will be a lot bigger than the one that we have in the house. The one that we have in the house is all designed on size, very small. But this one is really quite big. I think it's about 6 feet, maybe 7 feet long by about 5 feet wide. We'll be having a fan going up there, and then of course a window which will be barred off. And then this, I'm thinking that this probably will go on as the bottom part did, and then we may even render that too. Now this is very typical of Filipino, the kind of house that this would be if it were being used by Filipinos. That the top part would be left open, so there's actually very little real privacy for married couples, if you get my meaning. For those of you who are wondering, thinking that particular rooster is very vocal, I think we actually have about 3 or 4 roosters now. For some reason, don't know how that happened. Nothing that I would do. See, so between them, the conversation early in the morning never stops. Well, it's a farm. Outside, we've got a lot of clearing up to do. You can see down there, that's the turkey house. And the duck house. How many ducks have we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 6 or 7 maybe. And this is the work area. Over there you've got all the piles of, that's Gemelina, for those who are interested in a wood that is pretty good against termites. Gemelina is supposed to be very good, and it's a very nice wood too. So that's what we'll be using for the window frames. And they'll have a frame going of Gemelina. The carpenter will come along. He has a modern piece of equipment, which is an electric planer, and with that electric planer he can do all the rebating so that the new frames go in very nicely. And I saw the work that he did on Pastor Timio's house and liked it very much. Not quite sure whether it's the same guy that's coming along, but apparently this man does very good work too. Actually, I quite like this. This tree trunk going right up. I quite like that. We'll paint that and that will look really nice. So,